The Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT, has created this video to help explain the Combee Road, State Road 659, Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study process, and the preferred alternative available for review and comment during the public hearing for the Combee Road PD&E study. The study begins at US 98 and extends approximately 1.4 miles in Polk County to North Crystal Lake Drive. The department proposes to add a two-way left turn lane, an 8-foot wide sidewalk on both sides, and make intersection improvements throughout the corridor, including roundabouts at Main Avenue and Skyview Drive. The land use along Combee Road is a mix of suburban residential and suburban commercial. People have been observed walking and biking between the adjacent neighborhoods, the shops, and nearby schools. The project goals of this study are to improve safety and operational conditions, renew aesthetic and economic vitality, and enhance multimodal access along Combee Road for all users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit riders. The need for the proposed improvements for Combee Road is indicated by a lack of pedestrian facilities, frequent traffic backups as vehicles stop on the road to make a left turn, frequent rear-end crashes, and crashes at signalized intersections. Within the project limits, Combee Road is a two-lane road with one lane in each direction. There are paved shoulders but little to no sidewalks. The speed limit is 40 miles per hour. Stormwater runoff is collected in shallow roadside ditches. Throughout this PD&E study process, FDOT has looked at many different concepts to enhance safety and multimodal access along Combee Road. In August 2018, FDOT conducted a public kickoff meeting. At the Alternatives public meeting on March 7, 2019, and the virtual public workshop from November 12, 2020 through December 3, 2020, we asked for your input on proposed improvements to Combee Road. Based on your comments and additional environmental and engineering analysis, a preferred alternative was selected for Combee Road. The preferred alternative for Combee Road includes a 13-foot wide two-way left turn lane, one 12-foot wide travel lane in each direction, and an 8-foot wide sidewalk on both sides. Curb and gutter would be added to collect and redirect stormwater to off-site ponds for treatment. The preferred alternative includes single-lane roundabouts at Main Avenue and Skyview Drive. Roundabouts have been shown to have safety and traffic benefits for all roadway users and can accommodate buses and large trucks. At these locations, the roundabouts are anticipated to have fewer crashes and would allow U-turns for better access to businesses and residences. At the remaining intersections of US 98, Commerce Point Drive, and South Crystal Lake Drive, traffic separators would be added to reduce crashes and improve safety. Proposed locations are shown on the screen and on the display boards. One intersection with a high number of crashes is Industrial Park Drive. A contributing factor to this issue is vehicles making a left turn out of Industrial Park Drive while unable to see approaching traffic. Multiple options were evaluated, including combining the signal at South Crystal Lake Drive with Industrial Park Drive. However, the analysis shows that this option would result in excessive traffic delays and safety issues. To improve safety at this location, FDOT is proposing to add a traffic separator at South Crystal Lake Drive, which would make Industrial Park Drive right in, right out only. Throughout this study, a no-build alternative is also considered. The no-build alternative assumes that no improvements are made to Combee Road through the year 2045, except for routine maintenance. There are advantages and disadvantages to the no-build alternative. Advantages of the no-build alternative include no impact to adjacent social, cultural, natural, or physical environments, no utility impacts, no expenditure of funds for right-of-way acquisition or construction. Disadvantages include not consistent with Polk Transportation Planning Organization's Complete Streets Action Plan, does not enhance pedestrian and bicycle accommodations, does not improve safety conditions, does not improve vehicular traffic operations. The no-build alternative remains a valid option and will continue to be evaluated until the completion of this study. FDOT evaluated environmental and socioeconomic factors relating to the proposed improvements in accordance with the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969 as amended, and other federal requirements. The evaluation considered the effects of the Combee Road improvements on threatened and endangered species, wetlands and floodplains, water quality, stormwater management and permitting, potential contamination, cultural and historic resources, right-of-way requirements, and relocations. Please refer to your handout and display boards for more details on these items. Threatened and endangered species are allowed special protection under the Endangered Species Act of 1973 as amended and Florida statutes. FDOT assessed species within the project limits and through ongoing coordination with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has determined that the proposed project may affect, but is not likely to adversely affect, the existence of certain federally listed, threatened, or endangered species. The animal species include the eastern indigo snake and wood stork. Coordination with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service regarding the final status of these species is ongoing. If the preferred alternative is approved by the Office of Environmental Management, FDOT District 1 will continue to work closely with environmental agencies in future phases of the improvements to meet all environmental permitting requirements. FDOT evaluated wetlands within the project limits in accordance with Executive Order 11990, Protection of Wetlands. The proposed improvements will affect approximately 0.16 acres of wetlands and 0.31 acres of surface waters. The impacted wetlands are located within or adjacent to the existing roadway right-of-way and were previously disturbed by agricultural and residential development, roadway construction, maintenance activities, and the invasion of nuisance and exotic species. The Department will mitigate wetland impacts resulting from this project's construction. The project has been evaluated for potential floodplain involvement in accordance with Executive Order 11988, Floodplain Management. There is no significant change in flood risk as a result of the proposed widening, and minimal impacts are expected to the 100-year floodplain. Results of the environmental contamination screening showed that a total of 31 potentially contaminated and or known to be contaminated sites were identified within 500 feet of the project corridor with risk evaluation ratings ranging from low to high risk. 2 sites were ranked high for potential contamination. 12 sites were ranked medium for potential contamination, and 17 sites were ranked low for potential contamination. For the sites that are ranked low for contamination, no further action is required at this time. For the sites with a risk ranking of high or medium, the FDOT project manager and the District Contamination Impact Coordinator will coordinate on further actions during the design phase that must be taken to address contamination issues. Before construction, specially trained crews will address contamination in these areas as required. Locations of these sites are shown in the concept plans. The Cultural Resource Assessment Survey was conducted in accordance with the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966 and Florida statutes. Archaeologists and historians identified no archaeological sites or historic resources within the project study area. The State Historic Preservation Officer concurred with these findings. Section 4F of the Department of Transportation Act of 1966 requires agencies using U.S. DOT funds to consider impacts to public parks, recreation areas, wildlife refuges, and historic or archaeological sites of national, state, or local significance. As part of the project, FDOT is proposing to use the existing pond within Crystal Lake Park for stormwater needs. This pond may need to be expanded. The proposed pond improvements within the park will involve temporary closure of the boat ramp and boardwalk, but will not permanently impact these park features. Based upon the overall minor level of impact, FDOT is seeking a de minimis finding, which confirms that impacts to park activities, features, and attributes are minimal. This hearing provides the opportunity for public comment on this proposed finding. This project would require FDOT to acquire right-of-way at the intersections. No residential or business relocations are proposed. All right-of-way acquisition will be conducted in accordance with Florida Statute 339.09 and the Federal Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Act of 1970, commonly known as the Uniform Act. The right-of-way specialists who are supervising this program are here tonight and will be happy to answer your questions. An evaluation matrix has been provided in the display boards and handout. This matrix shows a detailed comparison of the preferred alternative and the no-build alternative, including potential effects to the social, cultural, natural, and physical environments. It also identifies preliminary costs. The department's preliminary estimate of total project cost is $21 million. The department anticipates completion of this PD&E study by early summer 2022. The detailed study schedule is available in the display documents and in the handout. At this time, FDOT's 5-year work program includes funding for this PD&E study and the ongoing design phase. Future phases such as right-of-way or construction are not currently funded. We encourage you to review project information, provide comment at the virtual or in-person event through the website by email or by mail, postmarked or sent by December 2nd, 2021, to the address shown on the screen and in your handout. Technical documents with project information are also available for review at the locations noted on the screen and in your handout until December 2nd, 2021. You may also visit the project website to view the project documents. The purpose of this PD&E study is to evaluate engineering and environmental data and document information that will aid FDOT District 1 and the FDOT Office of Environmental Management, or OEM, in determining the type, preliminary design, and location of the proposed improvements. This hearing follows all federal and state rules and regulations. Please see the hearing display boards for specific information. The environmental review, consultation, and other actions required by applicable federal documents for this project are being or have been carried out by the Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT, pursuant to 23 United States Code Section 327 and a Memorandum of Understanding dated December 14, 2016, and executed by the Federal Highway Administration and FDOT. Thank you for your interest and participation in the Combee Road Project Development and Environment Study public hearing, and for taking time to watch this project video.